Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Will Rothhaar.
Hi-yo, welcome to the Box Angels podcast. I'm your host, Mike Elder. Bless your heart for listening to the show. It means a lot to me. Thank you. I'm going to do the fastest housekeeping I've ever done on the show. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/boxangeles. Click subscribe. It's the best, easiest way to support the show. It would mean a lot to me if you did that. The other option, the other alternative, is to tell a friend. If you're an actor, tell a friend. I would love more actors to find the show. So if you're an actor and you like the show, or if you think it's okay, tell a friend. Housekeeping complete. That's pretty fast. I'm not going to lie. So there you go. We've got a really great episode this week. Actor Will Rothhaar returned to the podcast after 11 years. I met Will 11 years ago. Isn't that crazy? We were nothing but 20-something-year-old gentlemen with positivity and love in our hearts. Are we still that? That's what this episode will determine. But I digress. First off, Will, you'd know him from movies like Killing Kennedy and Battle Los Angeles and shows like NCIS Origins, SWAT, JAG, The Rookie, Will Trent. He's been on TV forever. He started out as a child actor. If you want to hear more about that, go to the previous episode, the previous interview I had with him. But this time, we talked about the state of the business, if he's optimistic about the business, getting SAG insurance, his lull after he did the podcast last time. Most people, they do the podcast, they get a bump in the business after it. Will, he had a lull. He didn't book as much. He went like 7 years, he said, where he didn't book much work. How did he get through that? How did he handle that time? He had to eventually start doing side jobs. His response to that, how he felt about that. It was a really honest conversation about the state of the business and the state of our hearts and minds. So are we still 30-something-year-olds with love in our heart? You'll have to listen and find out. What an ultimate teaser I just pulled out of my butt there. Anyways, I love Will. He's a good dude. This was a really fun conversation. So I don't want to waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Will Rothhaar. Will.
Hi.
It's good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you, bud.
Dude, a couple things. First off, you realize we met on this podcast 11 years ago.
I was doing the math. Yeah, 11 years.
Isn't that wild?
It's a trip. Yeah. I remember Holly's the one who put me in touch
Holly
with
Hirsch.
you. Yeah.
Who's left the city and the business.
She's gone off the grid, doing her thing.
Making donuts and
wildly
stuff.
successful in Asheville. Her and her husband have been in Bon Appetit like three or four times. Like, yeah, they're killing it.
You look exactly the same. You look.
So do you.
More okay. I lost a lot of hair. You look you've like grown into your handsomeness. You were always like a charming fuck, but now you got like a handsomeness about you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. No, I just I think the last time I saw you it was interesting because I guess right before I met you, I had just done Killing Kennedy.
Yes.
And then honestly, because I would have been 26 or 27 when we hung out last time, and 27 to 34, I'm 38 now, was just like crickets. Like I didn't work
really
at all. Yeah, because it was weird. I was in this strange zone where I couldn't be, I wasn't high school or college anymore. I wasn't going out for roles like that, even like grad school, but I was too young to be like the dad, the detective, the lawyer. And I just stayed in that zone for like a while, and I didn't age into myself until maybe the last 2 or 3 years. So it's been interesting because now I am getting these appointments where they're like, hey, it's this father of 2, or this is the lawyer, this is the detective. So yeah,
I can definitely see lawyer detective
more fun for sure.
That is cool. How do you? Well, now that brings up this question: how do you push through that if you're 7 years where you're saying you didn't work really at all? How do you persevere and stay with it?
I mean, it's still, yeah. I mean, it was rough. It was definitely a lot of, I don't know. Yeah, and also because I've been doing this my entire life, it's sort of, you get into this position where you're like, am I just one of those washed up child actors? Am I over the hill with this, And of course, you're in your 30s and it's no, there's more to do. And the thing that I like about what we do as performers is that we get the chance to, our careers and the trajectory of everything kind of goes in seasons, in eras, right? So, I was in a particular era at that point, and sometimes there's going to be a lull, and then you move into this other place. Like my mother, for example, she's 82, and she's working more now than when she was in her 40s because she's aging into this, like, you know, shit talking, older, sassy, older woman, you know, like, and that's what she does. And she works constantly because of that, you know? So, yeah, my dad, the same, you know, he should be working more than he is, but he's kind of come into this, you know, older, grumpy guy situation. And, yeah, and that's the one thing that I love about our work in this business. But yeah, the lull was a bitch, and it still is. It's getting easier. My wife, bless her heart, for sticking by me through all of it, but I know that all of it was, you know, super frustrating for her. Anytime I wouldn't book something, she's more of a grudge holder than I am. She's like, oh, I hate these people. You know, why do they see it? You know, and but it's getting easier. The other thing too, and I'm sure you know about this, is just like I'm just a big fan of make your own stuff. You know, a friend of mine, one of my best friends, Brendan Weathers, he started writing a script in 2021, and he just sent it to me, draft it. I'd give him pages of notes. He'd rewrite. We did this for 3 years, and then, you know, he finally saved up enough money. He's like, let's just pull the trigger and do this. And then my boy London Shover had a little spare money. He matched whatever budget we had. My wife produced, and I'm the lead in it, and my boy directed it, and we made a full feature.
That's great.
Yeah, like,
when's that coming out?
We're in the process of doing. I mean, now we're in post right now. Yeah, for sure. But we have it with an editor in Colombia who's, you know, just going in on it right now to make sure everything is in order, and then, you know, we do color and sound mixing and all that, and we'll have it. We want to be running the festival circuit probably early next year. So
yeah, I love that. I'm very similar in the sense that mine wasn't as ambitious, but I just quit my day job.
Yes.
I was working the same day job for like 10 years, and I just quit it. And part of my agreement to myself was if I quit it, I have to shoot the short film that I'd been sitting on for a couple years.
Yeah.
So we shot it in June, and I'm in the process of editing it right now too. So it's like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, if you can't find your voice out there, make shit that is, or your
anyone
voice.
Who will listen to your voice. Yeah. That's the other thing too, man. I mean, you know, listen, I'm super grateful to this industry and you know what it's given me, what it's given us, but like, it's not the same that it used to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, long gone are the days when you walk into an audition room and nobody knew who you were, but they'd go, you know, I don't know why, I don't know who you are at all, but you have that thing. And I want you to come and play with me. Let's do it. Now it's, you know, how many fucking followers do you have, and how many views do you have on your thing? And it's just like that, you know, no offense, influencers. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. But like, you know, people are casting people that are like YouTube influencers and things like that. It's like, but they don't know their way around a set. They don't know, you know, I don't know. It's just a different game. So
yeah, it's a weird quantity game to something that is historically not.
Well, it's free publicity, which I get, like from a marketing standpoint. Like I totally understand that, but also I'm like, the rest of us need jobs.
Yeah.
Can we get to go do our thing, please?
Yeah, but you also came up as a kid, and obviously it's way different then. But you could like book a commercial and make probably a good amount of money off of those commercials you were booking as a kid.
I mean, as a kid, yeah, for sure. And I would love to go out more commercially, and I mean, so much is FICOR these days as well. It's like non-union, which is amazing, and I have friends that book constantly, you know. But I miss that. I did a stint of like 3 Hyundai commercials back in 2021, which was really fun. But that was the first national that I'd done in 20 years.
Right, but even at that, like, how much did you make?
It was enough.
20 grand.
On those commercials, no more than that.
Okay,
which is good. Yeah, which is good. Like, but I also, you know, I forgot like what how it works with nationals.
Yeah.
You know, and that.
But to get 3 helps too, obviously.
Well,
my point was going to be like, you could book a commercial as a kid and it could probably last all year.
Set for a while.
Now it seems like you have to book 10 things in a year to even have fighting chance.
100%.
Well, make insurance,
as you know, like that's exactly with the cap on the insurance and what I mean. Like I got booted off of my SAG insurance during the strike, and and I just got a letter from them. They're like, hey, you didn't make the cut, so you like the beginning of next month you can go on Cobra if you want. So I was like, what? We're in the middle of a strike. And I wrote them like a letter. They're like, if you have any questions, you can write it to the review board. And I wrote it to them, and I was like, I basically begged them. I was like, you guys, this is what's going on. Who is making enough money to meet their medical insurance right now? At the time, my wife was pregnant. I was like, I have a kid on the way. Like, I said all these things, and I never really heard back, which was unfortunate.
So they did boot you.
They did. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. I thought they were giving out like, didn't The Rock give like $5 million to the SAG Foundation to like help support?
I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something he would do for sure. Yeah.
So did you get back on the insurance?
I did. I was able to. Yeah, because then it was like that happened, and then no, not even that. That was a year prior, I think. But it was. Yeah, it was one of those weird things. Once we came out of the strike, I booked like 3 guest stars back to back. It's like NCIS, Hawaii, Will, Trent, and then SWAT, and it was just like one thing.
But how is that enough? Isn't like a guest star like what, $4,000 a week or whatever, $5,000 a week?
It depends. If it's top of show, I think it's like 10 now. It's between 7 and 10.
Wait, what's top show? I don't know.
Top of show is like if your character like plays out through the whole episode. Like if you're like a focal point.
Yeah.
It's also just something that your team can negotiate for you if you do get like a guest, you know what I mean? Because it just varies. If you're like a one-day guest star versus a top of show, it changes it. But for some reason, then I got a letter. They're like, hey, you're back on, you know. But I was floating there for a few months where I was just like, I don't.
Wait, are you on right now?
What?
The health insurance?
I am. Okay. I got back on. Yeah, finally. But
have you kept it up? Like,
yeah, I was able to just with residuals.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But that was just because of those shows. Other than that,
yeah, it's so wild. I talk to people lately, and it's just like I talked to Frank Coyote, who you'd probably know from like Mad TV. Like 4 seasons of Mad TV. Very funny guy. He hasn't made health insurance in like 7 years, and he's like early 50s, and he's like having an existential thought about what am I doing with my life.
100%.
I got kids and a family, and it's just like it's so wild that right now.
Yeah, dude. Are you on SAG insurance?
I am not even. I'm SAG eligible.
You're SAG eligible.
I keep saying this. I probably shouldn't. I've been must join for a long time, but they just have not made me join. Yeah. I've booked a couple things. And I booked Kimmel last year, and they didn't make.
Oh, they didn't make you join for that? Really? Oh wow.
If they're not gonna
twist you
do their due diligence,
sure.
I'm gonna because I get so many non-union commercial auditions.
Yeah, I mean,
this year I have. I just shared this on Instagram recently. In July, I had more commercial auditions by July of this year than all of the previous year.
Wow.
And that is union as well, like more union through July this year than all of last year. So like,
that's awesome.
All that to say, I'm going out a lot commercially. The majority of them are non-union. So I'm like, why would I just stop doing these?
Just stop doing it. I mean, until you get something, I think, with SAG that's like, or that's union that's steady and, you know, going to keep bringing in money for you.
Yeah, until they bang down my door, yeah.
But that's awesome that you are eligible, and then you can just, you know.
Yeah, I've been eligible forever.
Yeah, totally.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But, like, I had that job, health insurance, forever. So, like, I didn't need it. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, suddenly I'm signed up for Covered California because I don't want to pay the Cobra rates.
I get it.
So I would love to take some SAG insurance too, but, like... 28,000? That seems so daunting to me.
26 actually, I think. Well, but still, whatever, $2,000.
Splitting hairs. I haven't booked anything in
100%.
9 months.
Well, the thing that bugs me out about it too is that if you go on, you know, if you're a member of SAG, you can go on your web pages. It has like a residual tracker or whatever, and on there it'll say how much, you know, you've made. And right when they were going to boot me, I went on and I checked, and they were like, oh, you've made over this. And so I called them, and I was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, that's not the actual figure. It's if you go to the pension and health website, for these amount of quarters, basically, this is what you have to have made. And you, like, didn't quite make it. And I was just like, you guys, come on.
I don't even understand. When the strike was happening and this figure came out, I was like, why do they even have a minimum to support that? Like, why is it not zero? Like, why?
Just be
if you're
zero.
a SAG member, you should just
we're like paying our dues.
Yes.
You should be able to, you know, we're paying you to protect us.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know.
Wait, I had Mo Collins on a couple days ago, who also is from Mad TV, coincidentally, and a bunch of Fear the Walking Dead. She was saying her residuals are not she did a
Oh,
bunch of
not what
Parks
they
and
used to
Rec.
be.
But
No.
you're saying, I don't mean to pry, I apologize,
it's
but
okay.
you made health insurance off residuals. So
I mean,
what is that? Is that just a culmination of everything you've
Yes,
done?
yeah.
Or is there one that really sticks out that is really taking care of you,
No,
like
no,
ER
no.
or JAG or something?
No, not necessarily. The residuals that got me over the hump were mostly for the 3 guest stars that I did.
The recent one.
The recent ones, yeah. So that was because before that I didn't have the health insurance, and then I got those 3 jobs, and that like kicked me over the hump. So that was really what it was. But honestly, yeah, I mean, I'm still getting residuals from like episodes of JAG. I just checked the other, yesterday, and I got one for like 3 cents from, Jack Frost or whatever. Like it's shit from when I was, when I was like 8, 9 years old.
I mean, this is so how far out of this I am, but to me, that's fascinating that the residuals for like an NCIS would be that big.
Yeah,
Like a new NCIS. I guess because of the streaming, I guess is what it is.
It's really what it is. It like because they send you the list of why it looks like that. Like they'll be like it played this an amount of times, So
I don't get that.
Yeah.
I was getting residuals for Kimmel for a little bit.
Nice.
It didn't break it down at all.
Yeah.
And I was cut from Kimmel. That's the funny thing. I didn't even make the final cut. But I was getting like $30 checks, and it was just streaming. And
Streaming,
it didn't
yeah.
give the breakdown of like how
it does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just what it is on the SAG website. So I don't know. Yeah. Interesting.
That's dope that you can make that much though. Like, have you ever thought about doing the residual check lottery or whatever? Like, it's a popular trend on TikTok where people like pick a random check, open it, and say how much it is and what it's from, and then they talk about the experience.
Okay. Oh,
like the guy from Hook, Rufio, does it.
Yeah. Okay.
They'll just pick a random check and open it and break
like
down
what the
how much it is and what it was and
what the experience was like shooting it. I've never seen that before. I'm also not really on TikTok, but yeah, that could be fun.
I think it's fun if you got a
Super
pile
cool.
of
Yeah,
them or
for sure.
whatever.
Get a little stack. I mean, now it's like with SAG finally got out of the dark ages, and now they have direct deposit, which is great. Because I'm also like, save the planet. Like, do we need to, sometimes
3
you
cent check.
Well, right. And I'm like, it costs you more to like send this check to me.
Way
Come
more.
on. Yeah.
Wait, are you generally okay? So you went through that. You survived this big lull. We all had this lull, obviously, but like, are you generally optimistic about where you're at or where the industry is right now, or are you still nervous? Or what is your thought?
I mean, just as a general, I try to stay optimistic in like all facets of my life in general, just because I do feel, I don't know, as much of a downswing as there is, things will work out. You know what I mean? As long as you keep your passion for what you're doing, keep leading with love in every way that you can, I think everything's gonna be okay. Eventually, with the industry right now, it's like, especially living in LA, it's tough, man. I mean, nothing's shooting here, and even, I mean, my reps, any producer friends that I have, everybody's like, I've never seen this before. It's like super unprecedented. Everything's shooting in Vancouver, Toronto, Atlanta, New York. And I heard some rumor that there was a tax incentive that was just about to come, but it just passed. So, yeah. But when is that going to kick in, and when are we going to start seeing things produced here again? Because it's just, and everybody's feeling it. I mean, my wife is in entertainment marketing, and everything is like trickling down. So it's not just us as performers that are seeing it. It's her as well. Like, her company's losing business left and right because, nothing shooting here. Less people are going after marketing campaigns because they just don't have any content that's being produced. And I mean, her and every manager at her company just had to take a 20% pay cut. I mean, six or 8 months ago. Like, it's been like this for the better part of a year. So I hold on to the hope, and I'm like, I think it's gonna be all right. But it's also scary, and I've jumped into juggling a bunch of different side hustles to just help keep us where we need to be. I mean, my wife works so hard, and so I'm juggling a bunch of other things to try to pick up the slack with her, and I found something that I really love to do. Shout out to Fulcrum. It's this company. I work for a team building company. I've been doing that since February, and
cool.
We do, what a ropes course is? Like a high ropes course where you like get harnessed in and you climb up a telephone.
Sure, yeah, and then you jump and stuff.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
did one in high school.
Yeah, so we'll get a busload of kids for whatever grade. We mostly are 5th through the 12th grade. Half of them will go to a ropes course for the first half of the day. The other half will come down to a park, and we run them through all kinds of awesome team building games. We just run them through games and teach them how to like communicate better with each other, build leadership skills, things like that. And I've just fallen in love with it. Like,
I love that.
My team is amazing. My bosses are amazing, and what we do is just really cool. So, and it's been something that has been really consistent. And I've worked a lot of side jobs throughout my life in general, and this is definitely my favorite thing.
I was just going to ask you, I don't remember from our previous conversation, but you have historically been a side hustle person, like a day job person? Because I was under the impression after, I mean, this was 11 years ago, so my memory's not what it used to be. I'm 39.
Right.
We're same age.
Same age.
But like, I felt like you were surviving off of acting the last time
I was, yeah. And
from forever. Since basically you're talking since that 7-year lull.
We saw each other, yeah.
You had to start doing all these
since
side
we saw
gigs.
each other last, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what how I'm thinking about, who's that Cosby guy?
Malcolm?
No. The guy that was caught. I hate that. That's even my verb.
Yeah.
But like the guy that was working at Trader Joe's, the older uncle or whatever.
Yeah.
And they like found him working at Trader Joe's, and they were shocked that the Cosby Show guy had a day job. And there was a big news story, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Right.
Was it like when you suddenly had to start doing that, did you view that as I must provide, or did you view it as like a humbling experience? Like, I guess like for somebody that survived so long just purely off of your craft, what was that experience like to suddenly have to do that?
I mean, I guess it was a little bit of both. It was just a matter of bringing in more income for us, for my wife and I, and trying to do that. I mean, she, her job has paid her really nicely throughout her career, and she's, thankfully, has taken really good care of us over the years, and I sort of have always helped manage everything else in her life to make everything sort of easier easy and smooth for her. And when she, in the last couple of years, especially when she took a pay cut, I was working side jobs before that, but this last time it was like, all right, I need to get at least like 2 things going that are going to consistently be bringing in cash. Because like the other side hustles I was working, they were great, but they weren't as consistent as I needed them to be. And yeah, I mean, it is a humbling experience for sure, and it, especially when I would rather be acting, to be making my money, and when you do that for so long, you sort of, when you're doing something else, you kind of go like is this, like, I don't know. One of the things that I was working for a while is I was a sales rep for Orange Theory, like the fitness studio.
You'd be great at that.
Which is fine. Thank you. I apprate that. And
I feel like a lot of dudes would buy from you.
Like,
a lot of the Orange Theory dudes would buy from you.
Yeah. But like, and it was fine. It was great. I'm really glad that I got the opportunity. I really appreciated it. But it wasn't, my heart really wasn't in it. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things where I'd go to work and I'd kind of be like, man, is this where I'm at right now? And am I ever gonna get to go back to do what I'd love to do? And that, that takes some ego swallowing, I think, for sure, and which is necessary, because I don't know. At the same time, I also think that none of us are above or below anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Make it work, make it happen.
Yeah.
And I had to remind myself, I was like, no, of course, like this is temporary. I know that, and then things come up. Like, I don't know, I was, so I'm about to go shoot the second and third installment in these 2, this trilogy of films. The first film is on Paramount Plus right now. It's called First Shift, and it's like a New York cop drama with my boy Gino Pesci, who was in Battle Los Angeles with me. He's the lead in it, and yeah, I play the serial killer that him and his partner are tracking down.
Oh, fun!
So I'm gonna be shooting that in Brooklyn for like a month. But while I was working at Orange Theory, I'm also, and my team is incredible. I'm also like we all need to be hustling at the same time, right? So I'm on Actors Access, every other day, just seeing what's on there, like what's happening. Even if it's like, again, like find like a dope short film and I'm just like, that sounds interesting, cool. Oh, what it's like with $300 a day to just go play, let's go. And I know there's a lot of actors that are like, well, I don't want to do that, and it's like that's like below me. I'm like, that's bullshit. Like if we're all part of the same family, right? So if we're helping each other with our craft and help to elevate things, elevate projects, like why not go do it, especially if you're getting paid. But I was online, and a year ago when Gino was doing the first film of this first shift, he had a character that he had me in mind for, passed my stuff along to the director. Timing didn't work out with that. And then I went on Actors Access and saw that he was the casting director on this feature, and it was this audition to be like one of the leads in it, and it's the same director. And I called him or texted him, and he was like, yeah, don't submit on Actors Access. Let me give your stuff to the director. And he did. The next day the director was like, oh yeah, I remember him. He's like, if we can get him, let's get him. So
that's awesome.
But while I was at Orange Theory working the front desk one day, that's when like the call came in, and my manager was like, hey, he's like, they made you the offer. Let's like go over this and close it out. But yeah,
there's something to like all these jobs, even if you don't love them, it's like taking pride in your work. And like, I don't know, at some point as a society, we started like belittling labor as if it's a bad thing, but like that's what this country's founded on. That's what 100%. And it's like taking pride in that. But it's just so funny to hear you talk about this, because like for me, the only way I know acting is with a side, like,
right.
I've never not known acting as a side hustle until recently quitting my job.
Sure.
And it's funny because now, like, I was literally texting my friends this morning. I was like, I'm busy. I feel busy right now when I'm not having a job.
Yeah.
And yet I was working a 9 to 5 every day and doing the podcast and auditioning. And now I feel like I'm back to doing a podcast every week, and I'm doing all these in-person auditions I've had lately. And it's just like, I'm like, I don't know how I did this.
How you did it with a job. Yeah. What were you doing?
I worked from home, so I was just sitting at the desk, but it was like a tech startup. I was doing like operations stuff.
Right.
But like, it's just an interesting perspective to hear you be like, yeah, it is humbling and you do have to swallow a little ego. But to me, I'm like, it just is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah, for sure. No. 100%.
And until they figure out like a way to subsidize artists, which I don't think they ever necessarily will on a mass scale. I know there's little pockets, and I know some European countries do that, but like until they subsidize it, like, we have to do this. And to your point about like the short films, like, why would we not want to lift other people up and help build the thing that their dreams are founded on?
100%. And yours as well. I mean, it's like, I don't know, sometimes I'll like read a project and I'm like, maybe this isn't super great on the page, but and I talk to the director, and the director's like, this is a skeleton of what I want. So let's talk about how to elevate it, how to shift it, how to, and you got to think about for yourself as well, when you read a project, you're like, if I were to do this, like, what would I bring to the table that would elevate this? But I mean, that collaboration mentality, that, taking care of each other, looking after each other, because it is, unfortunately, there's a lot of aspects of this industry that are, it's based on money, what's going to sell, what's going to this and that, but there's a lot of times less attention paid to, the artist and artists in general. And so, taking time to take care of each other and look after each other, I think, is the most important thing.
I agree.
So, yeah.
And it's crazy how many of us there are.
Yeah.
I literally was in an in-person audition earlier today and one yesterday, and I didn't see anyone I didn't recognize. And I'm like, there's so many of us.
So, right, exactly. You can't spit on the street without hitting fucking actor, I'll tell you what.
Have you, in this lull and, doing side hustles and all this, have you waned in your love of acting? Like, do you see yourself being an actor until your 80s like your mom?
Oh man, that's such a pregnant question.
I mean, and I say this too because I just talked to Mo Collins, who I just mentioned, and she was like, I was confiding in her, like, I've never questioned it until recently, really, just because it is of everything going on and how it feels like a lot.
Yeah.
But like, she was like, yeah, but that's all part of the process, right? Like,
right.
Your love needs to be like a wave that goes in and out, and then it gets stronger if it goes out because it comes back in.
Right, 100%. And I would agree with that for sure. 'Cause it's, there are times when I do feel it kind of slipping off or waning a little bit, but then That's an interesting analogy. I like that. I want to take that with me because it's true. It's like sometimes I feel it kind of waning off, and I'm like, damn, am I just like over this? Do I not love this as much as I used to? And then when it comes back, it's like I book something, I go work something or whatever, and I get slapped in the face with like, no, remember why you love to do this. This is why you love to do this. And it's like you're falling in love all over again. I'm like, oh yeah, right, now I remember. But it's tough in those lows. I mean, even my mom, she'll, when I hit the downslope or downswing or whatever, she's always asked me, she'll check in with me and be like, are you sure you still love to do this?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah. Because both my parents are actors as well, and my dad as well. So it's, they'll both be like, are you sure you're still in it? Your heart's in it. Because they've always said to me, they're like, if you love to do something more than this, go do that. Because there's no reason to stick around for it, because it can be a pretty thankless, treacherous road. But if you have the passion for it, you have the love for it, then keep going. The thing that's interesting though is, even I don't know if I felt like this last time I saw you, because 11 years can do a lot. But I'm 38 and I was like, this is all I've ever done.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, like, I don't know what the fuck else I would do. I don't know. There's nothing else that I have in my pocket that interests me quite as much. I mean, the job that I'm working, for the team building company, like I really love working for them. I love doing that. So that's something, but it's not like a career for me. You know what I mean? But it is something that I will continue to do because I really enjoy doing it. But just in terms of thinking about something where I'm like, I'm going to start here and work my way up for the next 20 years, like, then I'm what? It's like, no, I don't.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of, if it keeps going the way and if AI gets involved, we're going to have a lot of actors being like, what do I do now? Uh-huh. Not to mention all the truck drivers and shit that are going to be out of a business. Like, crew, although that's the interesting thing, it's like, maybe there won't be a specific artist subsidy, but there's got to be some sort of universal basic income coming that just allows us to live, because automation is, isn't it like 30% of the workforce drives? And it's like, if that's the first thing that's going to be automated, the Waymos are all over this town.
Waymos are all over, yeah.
But to your mom, I wonder how much of her asking you is her checking in on herself too.
Oh, I'm sure it's a reflection as well. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, yeah. We got to ask ourselves that question as well.
I do also equate it to like the idea of the wave going in and out. It's like, I find my relationships where they're not always, pleasant, like where we butt heads a little bit, like family members where we go head to head on politics or whatever a little bit. I find that makes a bond stronger, you know what I mean? Because we've been through it. And I wonder how much that applies to a career, in the sense that, like, I hate this thing, but I love it so much. And those are so
100%
intertwined.
I mean, I think they are. Yeah, I think they're entirely intertwined for sure. Yeah.
I can't wait to be your mom's age, though. I've said this many times. I think I'm just going to hold out so long that
you should.
I'm the only white, bald guy in his 80s. You know what I mean? So all the sitcoms use me when I'm in my 80s.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping around the sitcom circuit because there's only 4 bald white guys in their 80s that they can choose from.
Like, they start bringing them all back. They're like, everybody loves Raymond's son, grandson.
But there's just so many in their 20s. And from my understanding, talking to casting directors, like, the older you get, the smaller your group of actors is.
Exactly, because people start falling off.
Exactly.
Dying,
so like,
or they just like quitting. But they're quitting. That's the thing with my mom, is that she's booking all these jobs because most of the people that were her peers are like, decided they're going to retire. They don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. So,
or they can't physically.
Totally. Yeah. So it is. I think there's something to be said for just like, just stick it out.
They used to say that about improv too. It's like a couple of my favorite improvisers were like, I wasn't the funniest, but I stuck around the improv theater long enough where everyone sort of went on to the next thing rather than grind it out.
Yeah.
Which is, it's kind of discouraging that I have to wait 60 years to get my SAG card, but.
I mean, says you're eligible now.
Well, I know, but
you're like, I'm not gonna pay this $3,200.
I have a job. I don't know if you heard, but I quit.
I quit my job, Will. Okay,
I can't just afford insurance.
Right, that's right. Damn.
I do. I love though that. I love that I can have these conversations now, because I do feel like when everything's like nice and perfect, these conversations are way different. They're much more affable.
Yeah.
But this was like a real honest conversation right now. And all my podcasts lately have felt like that, where we're like reflecting on what we've been through and where we're going. And It's very existential in that way.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun having these conversations now with you because I feel like we're both in like entirely different places. Well, obviously, as we should be. It's been 11 years, but yeah, just like I feel like there's been a lot of life that's been lived in this amount of time, and it reads on you. I hope it reads on me. That yeah, we've evolved and shifted and changed. So it's good.
Yeah. I would love to hear your take on. So you strike me as somebody who is very charismatic. Well, like when I meet you in person, you just have an aura about you that I don't necessarily get in a headshot. So have you? I don't know if you agree with that or not, but how have you do you like self-tapes? Do you hate self-tapes? What's your vibe with a self-tape? Do you book off of self-tapes? To me, it seems like you got to be in a room with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just during the pandemic, I was like, oh, mate. I mean, obviously, not a lot was shooting, but that's when just self-tapes kind of became the norm, and I loved it because I'd always say, people are like, what's the hardest thing about being an actor? I'm like, the hardest thing about being an actor is sitting in my car for 2.5 hours to over 4 hours a day, driving to read for producers at 5:30 on a Friday when everybody's exhausted from the week and they're all just sitting there, just like, and you having to put your best foot forward to kind of do the thing. And I was like, man, I can do this as many times as I want. I can get it super tight. I can, hit the beats that I want to hit, and I can literally do it 30 times until I figure it out, what works best for me. And now I really want to be back in the room. I miss that because it's like when you're rehearsing for a play, you do 6 weeks of rehearsal and you don't have bodies in the house, and then the first night you have a preview, you go out on stage, you can't mess it up, and you say a line and then you get a laugh or you get a reaction, somebody gasps or something, and suddenly you're feeding off of that energy and you're helping each other out, and it's like there's nothing else in the world that's like that. It's a feeling where I'm like, oh, I love, this is what, again, a reminder of why I love to do what we do. And so, I really wish we would, and I know it's, casting directors there's so much less overhead and all these things because nobody has to rent a space, producers don't have to drive to wherever you have to go. But I'm missing that. And any chance that I have now to be able to go in the room or even do a live Zoom audition, I'll do it. Just because, when you do that, then, usually even on a Zoom, like I'll get notes, they'll be like, producer or director will be like, great, can you just like go back and pepper this in or tweak this? And it makes it, brings some of the old days back a little bit. But self-tapes are fine. And like I said, and I have booked off of them for sure, and like I said, you're able to get it as tight as you want in whatever way you want to be able to have the confidence to be like, all right, when I send this out, I know that they're getting exactly what I want them to see, but it is, it does detract from the experience, I think, when you don't have a chance to be in, feeding off the energy with people.
Yeah. I think though, too, to your point about it, you can make it fine tune it. I think that's almost detrimental though, because
can be.
I just talked to a director, Tara Mealy, who did like the last 2 episodes of Lessons of Chemistry, and she said they had a guest star on, and now I'm speaking out of pocket, but whatever, who couldn't for the life of him get his lines. And she was like, okay, I'm just going to read them. Each one, we'll just do each one. And I was like, I wonder how much of that is like this guy just, teleprompted a self-tape or like did 1,000 takes of a self-tape or whatever. I think there's some detriment to like, because also this is my self-tape wall. So it's like,
oh yeah, nice.
It's like, right. So it's like, there's some safety here where, to your point about you get that first laugh, you're not turned on in the same way. You're not like in performance mode. Those nerves aren't cooking. This is a safe space. Yeah. It's not going to be the same when all of a sudden you're on set and there's cameras and pressure and all this. Sure. And I think it's doing us a disservice to that degree to make it perfect or have this safe space where I can theoretically do it in my underwear. You know what I mean?
Totally. I have.
The old Donald Duck style. Yes. Put a tie on and no pants.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so something that might be a fun tip for you, for everybody out there. Myself and my boy Aryeh Orr, who you've seen in a million things, incredible actor, and one of my best friends. He and I both had an audition for 2 different roles on like a military video game. And he suggested, and we've since like run with this a bunch of times. But he said, he's like, we both have these 2 different roles. They're like very action oriented scenes. It's like, I'm coming into a room and there's a soldier that's laid out and I got to quick clot on his gunshot wound and he's laying on a table and I'm talking to this guy. And then he's got, scenes where he's clearing a house and then, throws a grenade at like a tank that's off in the distance. And he's like, why don't we just shoot these scenes? Like, let's shoot them as if it was the scene. First, what that does is it really like it puts you in it, and that like sort of having to get the lines perfectly or being distracted by that, because on the day you're not going to be standing in front of a wall, you're going to be moving around, you're going to have action, right? So, and the other plus side to this is that for casting directors, for producers, for directors, that it sometimes it's, for any of us, it's hard to like envision somebody in the role when they're just standing in front of a gray backdrop. Helping paint the picture for the people that you're going to be working for is super helpful, because you're like, oh, it's the scene. Oh, I can see that. And so, just on the iPhone, we throw it on at, 24 frames a second and just shoot it like a piece of film.
Yeah.
And we used my entire house. He brought, it was a military thing. He had like a tactical shotgun and a flak jacket, and we both like put it on at different times and shot the scenes. And of course we submitted them, and then like a week later the video game union went on strike.
Oh no.
So we were like, God damn it.
Well, now you got footage for your reel.
100%. Yeah, exactly. But it also just makes it gives you like a little more of like creative control, a little bit of an outlet to kind of just be like, okay, well, what can I create with this? How can I go play it,
Sure.
That's fun.
That just made me realize you've done so much military stuff or gun adjacent stuff.
Yeah.
Have you taken like gun trainings ever to be a better actor? Like, how we can take acting classes. Have you ever taken like a gun class to be better with weapons?
I haven't. I just found this website, like Tactical Hive, I can't remember, on Instagram, and they're offering tactical classes, basically like gun classes, which I would actually like to go to, just to sharpen that tool in my box. But when I did Battle Los Angeles, we had 3 weeks of boot camp for that.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was, I was learning how to, be smooth with everything and how to clear rooms and all that stuff. So I remember a lot of that training.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like I will, I'll watch a TV show where somebody has to do like tactical work in clearing a house or something, and somebody's with their rifle and they have their elbow all up, and I'm like, tuck that fucking elbow. What are you doing? I'm calling things out. I'm like, that's not right. That's not right. That's right. He's moving well. I like that. But yeah, no, I'd like to do. Yeah.
Well, you don't strike me as a gun guy in general,
really
so I would think you would need some sort of training if you're going to have this much military.
Yeah. It's always like the military, the cop, or the serial killer. I always play the bad guy.
I know. I love that.
Always play the bad guy.
Well, you have a menacing quality about it.
Do I?
Well, particularly in your headshots and stuff. Like, in your vibe is that. But like, that's what I'm saying about you in person. Give a completely different like aura. Like you give a much more charming aura.
Well, thank you.
You give like a badass in like headshots.
In headshots, interesting. Yeah, my because all my friends and family are like, why? You're playing another bad guy? Like, why can? But you're so nice. Like, why can you just like why can you just play like the romantic lead just like one time? And I'm like, I'm down. This isn't how they see me though. And I asked my wife, I'm like, why? And she's like, well, you're very good at being charming and creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, charmingly creepy. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Like, that's the thing that I like when I played stuff that are, bad guy characters, is I want you to, I don't know if sympathy is the right word, but some aspect of me for you to be like, do I like you? I'm not supposed to. You're like a terrible person, but you're kind of endearing in this weird way, and that's like the fun. Sort of
what do they call that?
Fun.
The anti-hero or something like that?
I guess, yeah, anti-hero, yeah.
That's definitely the goal for sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken a class where, like, I took John Roosevelt's class, And the first class, they literally had to sit in front of everybody, and everyone just shot off the vibe they're getting.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that before?
Where like you said, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Brad Greenquist, who's another amazing. If you're looking for a class to take, go take Brad Greenquist class. Brad's class, just Google it. He's amazing, and you've seen him in a million things. He's a working actor, but he teaches this acting for film class where he'll put you up in front of everybody.
Yeah, I find those endlessly fascinating
So
because
cool, yeah.
first impressions are such an obviously important part of what we do.
100%.
And a lot of people can't handle hearing that, but I think it's really interesting because I think of myself as like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
But to women, I'm a 6 foot, really heavy, not great. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
if I'm walking up behind you, you're not comfortable.
Like
but I'm just like, hey, I'm a big old gummy bear. What do you mean? I'm very sweet.
Yeah.
But it's good to know what you're giving off so that you can either lean into it or lean away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Pivot however you need to.
I remember taking a class. Oh, I'm going to blank on her name. I took a class, and this lady, the first week we did like it was like a drama scene. And she's like, you are a very not mean, but like, you give off a very anger energy. And I'm like, what? Wow. Maybe I just absorbed in the character.
Right.
But like, it's,
like that's so
and then I couldn't shake that the rest of the class because that's what she remembered me as. But it's just really funny to like think about that stuff.
Were you able to play into that like during the scene? Like, did you do scene work with her? Or was it just like
we would bring in a scene every week.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think that was the only drama because then we tried to do comedy and like she couldn't see me comedically at all, which was so funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Like I was like, I can specifically see you doing comedy. Yeah, right. Exactly. That's awesome.
But those first impressions are wild, and again, that's why I think you need to do in person because you do have this. That's probably why you're getting all these villains because you give that sort of. It's honestly like it's what you said, like unsure. Like, who do I trust this guy or
him?
not?
I'm not sure. Yeah. No, I know. Just Hollywood, please. Can you bring us back in the room? Just please.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
I don't know if it's ever going to happen.
Because I talked to a lot of casting directors, and they're like, "It's not us. It's the studios and the production.
Yeah.
Like, if they budget enough money, we will do it, but they're not." And then I had a producer on last week from Point Grey, Seth Rogen's company. Yeah. And she wasn't even like thinking about this. It wasn't even on her mind. And she's like, okay, now I'm going to start thinking about this. Mm-hmm. But like, if they're cutting, they're not thinking about actors and auditions, even though it's a detriment to everything.
It is because I mean, if you're hiring some people off of self-tape, and it's like, what happens when you get on set if it doesn't work?
Right.
Then you're going to be spending more money to recast if you want to recast, and when you could have just spent the extra change to get an office for the afternoon and let us come and do our thing.
Yeah, and there's nothing more fun than driving onto a lot for an audition. You know, it's like my favorite thing. You feel important.
Have you watched The Studio yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're like 5
That's who I interviewed. Alex, she's an executive producer on The Studio.
Yeah, we watched. We're like 5 episodes in, and it's so interesting to watch because it hits so close to home in so many ways where you're just like, well, yep, that's how it works.
It's also lampooning it, but also like celebrating it.
Yeah, and there's things where I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh,
it's very stressful.
God, it's very stressful. I'm like, yep. But watching them, ride the carts around the war, they're all at Warner Brothers, right? So I'm just like, I remember I walked down that street to go to, Ted Danson's office, whatever.
I did the Warner Brothers 5K a couple months ago, and my buddy's a Warner Brothers tour guide. Yeah. And he was like pointing out everywhere they filmed him. I was like, oh, this is.
Yeah, I know. It's so fun. I love it. Yeah, it is. It is.
Fun. I miss going in the lots.
Me too.
Like that's the. Oh.
I know. I did an episode of NCIS Origins a few months ago, and the day that I got it, they were like, no pressure, but we're doing a improv, like a table read for the episode. If you want to come, and I was like, yeah, of course. And they like had the pass for me and like a little parking, and I like showed up, and I don't know, it was at Paramount, and I was like, oh, it's so nice being here.
That's great.
It's been a while.
Paramount's my favorite too.
Paramount's so nice.
Wait, when you got NCIS and then another NCIS, do they care at all that you're on other NCISs? Isn't it the NCIS cinematic universe?
So it used to be. This was up until very recently. It was a thing. They're like, if you've been on any other NCISs in the last 6 years, doesn't matter if you were, a guest star, co-star, whatever. They were like, you just don't tape. Just don't even audition for this. And I had that question as well. But I didn't say anything to anybody. I just was like, because I did NCIS Hawaii, which got canceled right after my episode, which I was like, Was it me? Was it something I said? I don't know, but like,
Yeah, you took down the whole
they're
thing.
like, oh fuck, no, this is Can. Let's not do that. But yeah, and so when I got the audition for Origins, I was like, I'm just not even gonna say anything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, yeah.
Maybe this is an unfair question because you're a family man and I'm in a very different place in my life. But you came up doing so much theater. Like, weren't you in like a Mammoth play?
Yeah.
Yeah. He directed it?
No, a man named Michael Bloom directed it.
Okay.
But it was at the Geffen Playhouse.
Right.
In Westwood.
Okay.
That was like 12.
Have you ever considered going to New York and like doing theater?
I would love to, honestly. Yeah, and I'm not. My wife and I actually don't have kids, but
I thought you did.
Yeah. No, it's all good. So we have a little more leeway to be able to and she works remotely, so you know. I mean, I went and did a play with my dad directed a show at the Washington Stage Guild in D.C. in 2021, Mrs. Warren's Profession, and I went out there for 2 months, and my wife came with me the whole time because she
amazing.
needs Wi-Fi. As long as there's Wi-Fi, she can
Yeah.
work. So, we definitely have talked about that. New York theater obviously actually pays, which is the tough part about doing theater here. I'm a member of a few companies that are, do incredible theater, are, amazing people that I've grown up around. And it's sometimes, unless timing really works out, it's really tough to be able to say yes to projects anywhere because it's just the time commitment and everything. It doesn't pay, and LA theater is really rough that way.
Yeah.
Unless you have a job that like pays you like really well and you can afford to be like, well, I'm going to spend my evenings, at rehearsal, whatever. But I would prefer it. I mean, my dad is in a play right now. Actually, go see Miracle on 55th Street at Pacific Resident Theater in Venice. My dad's playing Zero Mostel, and it's a original play by Greg Ostrin about Jerome Robbins and Zero Mostel and Hal Prince all in the rehearsal room when Fiddler on the Roof was going into their very first production, and it's their kind of dynamic and how they talk about working out the show. It's a really good play. My dad is brilliant, Michael Rothhaar, but I would love to move to New York. I mean, I'm excited to go back to shoot these films.
Yeah, when is that?
That's going to be September to October.
Okay.
So, and it'll be like the perfect time to be there. It won't be too hot.
I'm there for a couple weeks over Labor Day.
Oh, when?
August to the last week of August, first week of September.
First week of
I'll hit you
September.
up.
Okay, yeah, hit me up for sure.
I want to move there. I'm flirting with moving there because I turned 40 this year, and I'm flirting with it. Are you being submitted in New York? Do you know? Are your reps submitting you in New York or Atlanta?
Yeah, I tell them to, yeah, for sure, because I can work as a local hire. I can also work as a local hire in Atlanta as well. So,
are you getting many auditions out there?
Not too many, no. But I will, like when I go on Actors Access, I will, change my my search to be.
I've never thought to do that. I should get New York emails.
Do it. Yeah. Well, you don't even need it. Doesn't need to be a New York email. Just go on. If you go on Actors Access, go hit New York instead of LA.
Yeah.
And it'll give you all the projects in there in Jersey. If you can, if you're gonna move there, cool. If you can, have a place you can stay for a couple of weeks or something like that, just submit yourself for stuff there.
Yeah.
There's so much shooting there, like a ton. So, but yeah, I would really love to. I would love to go do some theater out there for sure. It's yeah. I mean, even like a Broadway contract is. It's depending on what the role is. It's like it's like $1,500 a week or something like that. So that'd be not bad. So yeah.
Yeah. Because how long did you live in New York? Remember me? Because you were born in New York.
I was born in New York. I moved out when I was 5 or 6 years old.
Did you ever live in New York then? After that?
Not after that. No.
Okay.
This will be the longest time I've spent there since I moved there. Since I moved away.
Okay.
So
and you still love it? Because I love it.
I love it.
I got some people in my life being like, "You'll hate it when you live there." And I'm no. I think I will fucking love the grind.
Yeah, 100%.
I get so much energy when I'm there.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like the pacing is different. It's like you come out of your apartment, grab a cup of coffee, and then when your feet are on the street, you're just swept up in the energy. And I love it. Like every time I'm there, it feels like home, even though I didn't live there long enough to really be home, But you get into the rhythm of the city, and it's a whole different thing. You're just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, and like the short film I just shot, I literally spent a week in New York with my buddy, and we just had so much fun. It was literally inspired. No, it inspired.
Yeah.
Like I came home and I just knocked out this 10-page script in like no time because it was just everything we were doing in New York felt like a funny bit in the script.
Yeah.
And that's just like if I can get that much like energy from it. Plus, I got all these great coats I don't get to wear out here. I got like 3 pea coats I never get to wear.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You can't do it here. Although the winters here have been like crispy. It's been interesting. I brought my pea coat out a couple times for sure. But there, you definitely wear it. Yeah.
I'm from Minnesota, so I'm the master of layers, and I can't layer out here. I just wear a t-shirt. I'm wearing a polo today randomly because the audition said dress like nice casual.
Nice casual, and you're like, okay.
But normally I'm just a t-shirt.
That's a good color on you, by the way. I like it. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I would love to move to New York, so maybe we'll see each other out there next year.
Yeah, for sure.
It's when I'm turning. It's literally like this year. I've learned quitting my job. I've kind of learned like when you jump, when you leap, you fly, and like you don't know what's going to happen, but something happens. Something catches.
I think doing something like that. It shows the universe forward motion, right? So you're like, I'm just gonna trust that this is gonna be a thing, and then things start to fall into place. In my experience, because when you have the safety net, you're gonna use it, and so if you just take the mesh away and go do your thing, and it tends to work out. But it can be scary. It's really fucking scary.
I just like what you said. That was great. Put that emotion out there. Oh man, that's beautiful. It can be scary, but like. That's where growth lies.
100%.
And honestly, this is my existential moment I'm giving you. I appreciate it. You listening.
Yeah.
But like to me, it's like I want to live in New York at some point in my life. And to me, it was always like when I could afford it. But I'm like, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow and I never live in New York, I'm going to be so disappointed. I'm going to be so disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
Because like I just love it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do it. It sounds like that might be the next jump, though. You know what I mean? And here's the thing: is that with 9-to-5 stuff, that's always going to be there.
Yeah.
You can always go back to that if you need to.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, if you're doing okay, then who cares? And going to New York sounds like it might be the next great adventure for you.
I agree.
So do it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, the last question I ask is, who took a chance on you? I've been asking that to people lately, and people really like that question.
Who took a chance on me?
We all need somebody to send the elevator back down, it seems like. Who did that for you?
Who took a chance on me?
It could be personal. It doesn't have to be professional.
Yeah. Being personally, I think my wife, Jess, she not like necessarily took a chance on me, but I think that I don't think she really knew what she was getting herself into in terms of dating an actor and my career and my life choices when she was with me, and she's been there every moment and just like been my fucking champion forever. And I can't, words can't express how much I appreciate her for doing that and taking a chance and sticking it out, because it's not an easy life, being with me and being with my work for sure. And I love her for that. And the other person that took a chance was so I have a film that we shot in Mexico for 6 weeks, and it was written by, do you know Max Arcienega? Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah.
You know Crazy 8?
Okay, yep.
So that's a friend of mine that I know through a community of actors here in LA.
Oh, funny.
And his director, and co-writer on the film, Alonso Alvarez Barreda. Alonso is an incredible director. He's he's Mexican. Won Best Short Film at Cannes when he was 17. He's a monster, amazing. Tells a story with a lens in this incredible way. But he and Max had written this film called The Wing Walker together for about 10 years. And I just this is so funny with the forward motion of the universe, right? My wife and I were rewatching Breaking Bad one day, and I hadn't talked to Max in a while. He moved to Chicago during the pandemic. He's from there, and he came on, and I saw his scenes, and I just was man, he's so good. And so I just texted him, and I was like, hey man, you just keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it, and I'm really proud of you. And next time you're in LA, let's grab dinner. And he's like, yeah, it's great to hear from you. And he called me a few days later and said, man, it's wild that you hit me up, because I've been going into pre-production on a film that I've been working on for 10 years with my partner, and we've gone through certain production companies, and it fell on its face a few times, and we finally got picked up by Disney Mexico, and we're under their umbrella. We're going into pre-production in a month or month and a half. He goes, we've been looking for the guy to play the main character's brother-in-law, and we're seeing a handful of guys for this, and I would love it if I could just give my stuff to you. Can you humor me and make a tape, hear the scenes, and I just want to give it to my director, because I think you're the guy. And so yeah, I made this tape, and Alonso was like, I love this, never heard of him, and let's do it.
Oh, hell yeah.
So it was him, Max Arcienega, and Alonso Alvarez Barreda. They both took a shot and brought me on to this like really beautiful project that's been their baby for a long time, and they trusted me, and you know, yeah, and now friendships have gotten deeper. And
that's dope. When's that come out?
It's out in Mexico right now. We were like the #1 film in theaters for like a few weeks.
Oh, amazing!
And then we're still in the top 10 on Disney Plus.
Oh, hell yeah!
Down there. We're gonna have a U.S. release here. The theatrical release will probably be much smaller, but we will be on Disney Plus hopefully in the next month.
Amazing.
Or two. So I'll keep you posted.
I can't believe you forgot you speak Spanish.
Yeah, man.
When you say Alfonso, it sounds so good. It sounds so good.
But it's funny though, because in the movie, I wasn't allowed to speak any Spanish.
Oh, really?
I was supposed. My character is sort of
a stupid gringo.
A little bit, yeah. Like he means really well, but he's kind of a fuck up, and he is the catalyst that kicks off the journey that my brother-in-law has in this film, and the whole film is a big commentary on immigration in this country and how backwards it is, and the hoops that the brother has to jump through to like get back across the border. He gets deported, has to come back because his daughter has a crazy heart condition and needs a transplant. And so it's a beautiful story, and it's super heart-wrenching and wonderful, but and it's very poignant with everything that's going on right now. So so it needs to be seen for sure. But in this, I told Alonso, I was like, can I just say, let me get like a sentence in there. He's like, no, not this one. He goes, the next one, I promise you can speak some Spanish, but you can't fucking do it this. But it was so dope working on the project, because I came down, I went down to Tijuana for my hair and makeup, wardrobe fittings and all this stuff the week before we started, and came in, and the hair and makeup girls are like, hello, it's so nice to meet you. I'm like, sí, qué placer en conocerte, nice to meet you. And they were just like, ¿tú hablas español? Sí, yo hablo español, claro. And they were just like, oh my God, this is going to make things so much easier.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was an all Mexican crew. Everybody was so incredible and took such good care of me. And I made all these new friends, but they, and Alonso he'd come and direct me in Spanish sometimes. He's like, okay, papá, vamos a hacer esto. And he gives me give me the breakdown of exactly how we're going to go through the scene. But he would switch from like Spanish to English to Spanish to English. But the fact that he was like, could do that with me was really fun.
That's awesome.
Fun for him. Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
I wish I could speak Spanish. That's
yeah, man, Duolingo. Yeah, seriously, I'm learning French and Italian right now. And it's like,
is it working?
Yeah. It's super helpful.
I feel like my brain can't learn anything anymore.
We're getting older, kid.
I'm like teaching myself Premiere the last year, and I feel like that's a new language that I'm learning.
That seems like a little more lucrative of an idea than learning Spanish at 39, but...
Will, this was a pleasure. It's good to see you, buddy.
Mike. Yeah, you too, bud.
We keep kicking ass.
Having me, man. You too.
If you didn't live in Marina Del Rey, I'd say let's get dinner sometime.
Well, let's do it. I mean, no, I will travel for friends. I don't give a shit. We'll go to,
Because I'm not driving.
That's fine. I get it, We'll make it.
I'm the worst friend.
All right, I guess that settles it. Nah, I'll come through.
This is great, Will. I appreciate you.
Pleasure, brother.
Tail Slate.
Yeah. Will Rothhaar, appreciate you guys. Be well.
Lovely.